All right, hey guys, OFD checking in here, and today we have a Squale on the channel. It's really the first time I've ever had this brand here on the channel, and I picked this watch up a couple of weeks ago, so I've actually gotten to spend quite a bit of time with it, worn it quite a bit on the wrist, actually traveled with it, so I think I have a pretty good idea what this watch is like. Lots that I like about the watch, a couple of things I'm not too fond of on this watch. But let's go ahead and jump into this one. Now, I picked this one up recently, like I said, just a couple of weeks ago. Got this one from Gnomon Watches. Now, I didn't do an unboxing video, but just to show you guys down here in the background, here's everything the watch came with. A nice watch roll for traveling. You have your warranty card. You have your information, your watch setting information, everything like that. Hang tag, and some extra links that I took off the bracelet here. So, all right, cool watch. Now, this is in the 1545 series in their 30 Atmos lineup. So these are all 300-meter watches, or 300 meters waterproof watches in their 30 Atmos lineup. This is the 1545 GWC, which is the GMT Walnut Ceramica, indicating you have the ceramic bezel insert here in this walnut brown color. So really cool watch. Specs on these watches are really, really nice. You have a 40 millimeter case from side to side. I measure 47.9, which is basically 48 lug tip to lug tip. Comes in at 12.5 millimeters, of thickness from the case back to the top of the flat sapphire crystal. And you have 20 millimeter lug openings on this watch. Now, I've owned a few Steinhardt GMTs, and one of the problems I had with actually both Steinhardt GMTs I owned and other ones is that the GMT hand has an issue with lining up. Now, those were all date model watches. This is a non-date model. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but it was an issue I had with both of my Steinhardt GMTs. So far, I've had absolutely no issue with this watch. The GMT hand is a true GMT, so it's independently settable. I'll show you how that works, and you have a bidirectional bezel on this watch also, which makes it really more of a GMT watch than others that I've had in the past, which basically had a unidirectional dive bezel on them. This one operates more like a true GMT watch. So inside this watch, at the website, they say it's either running the ATA 2893-2 or the Sellita SW330-1. I'm going to say this is probably running the Sellita SW330. Those ETA movements are starting to slim out there in the micro brand community. So I just think it's kind of interesting that they still mention the ETA. I think they should just say it's probably got the Sellita in it. So bringing it up here a little bit closer so we can take a look at the dial on this watch. Now, this is one of the things that I love and I also don't like too much about this watch. Now, you can see all the applied indices all the way around. At the 12, the 3, the 6, and the 9, they've added this orange color lume here, which actually, I'll show you guys in the dark, it really reduces the lume on those indices. Not only that, it's not, and if I can get it up here a little bit closer so you guys can see it, it's not done super well. It's a little bit sloppy on those indices. Not too bad. I actually watched a Gnomon video of this watch, and the one they showed in their video, it was pretty rough. But you can also get a good view of the ceramic bezel insert in this watch, these nice cutouts in here. I like this brown color. Part of the reason they did this, it gives this kind of old school bakelite, wrong button there, Dunlap. Gives it this kind of old school bakelite feel on this bezel insert. It always looks wet because of the ceramic, the polishing on it. So now, one thing I want to mention, with the Squale watches, they make the standard versions with your, your Mercedes handset. I believe they still make those. And I think that, these are obviously going to be homage to the Rolex GMTs. But when you start getting into these unique handsets like Squale is using here, their bright orange minute hand, the stick hands on this watch, it kind of takes a little bit more into its own. And at least for me, I think. And I really kind of fell in love with this watch, really because this brown bezel insert. I'm a tree guy, so you throw a walnut at me and I kind of love the way it looks. Clean sweep of this second hand, of course, it's a high beat movement, being that Sellita or that ETA. Either way, you're beating at 28,800 vibrations per hour, and you're going to have about 38 to 40 hours of power reserve. Like any tool watch should have, this has a big 7 millimeter crown on it, so it's very easy to manipulate. Go ahead and pull it out here. Inside of here, you guys can see your gasket there, which is a very good gasket there. Thick, big, heavy-duty crown tube, no wobble on this at all. Go ahead and show you, now we're in this first position here. This is going to be your winding position. Now you come out to your second position. This would be where you'd generally be setting your date or anything like that, but that is going to be for your independently settable GMT hand. As you can see, it's going to jump by the hour there. Very nice and easy. And like I said, it works wonderfully. No problems lining anything up. And then all the way out, of course, being hacking movement, then you can independently set your time to exactly whatever time you want it to be. So let's go ahead and roll these hands into a better position here. Nice screw down crown. Like I said, easy to manipulate, big 7mm crown. 20mm lug openings on this watch. It's 20mm here, tapers down to about 18 at the clasp assembly. Very nice Jubilee bracelet, very well done. Nice heavy-duty clasp assembly, and everything on here was really stiff, which I really appreciate. You can see the Squale is signed on the machine bars here, which I think is a really nice touch. Taking a look at the case back, standard Squale case back here on this. And you've got your Y1545 indicating the case style, the 30 Atmos on this. This is a 300-meter waterproof watch, sapphire crystals being used, and give you a feel of that bezel. Like I said, it's a bidirectional bezel, so you can actually, I think for a GMT watch that's better. This is set up as a dive watch built on a dive case, but it's really, for me anyways, I think it's better to have a bidirectional bezel on a GMT watch. One other thing on the bracelet, which I think is nice, and I've never had a Steinhardt with this, you do get a dive extension. This is a diver's bracelet. The watch can be used as a diver's watch with that 300 meters of water resistance, but really nice piece. Let's go ahead and pause it, get this watch on my 7-inch wrist, and then be sure to stick around for the Lume shot because there's some interesting things with the Lume on this one. All right, in this 40mm case, the watch fits my wrist extremely well. 47.9, basically 48 lug tip to lug tip is going to sit on the wrist nicely. A lot of curve to the lugs on this watch, so it's nice that it's that shorter, under 50mm size. The looks of the watch are really incredible, and although those indices at the 12, the 3, the 6, and the 9 don't glow as good as you'll see here in the Lume shot, they look really great. It really, to me, I don't know, there's something about that look. I don't think it's going to appeal to everybody. I think there's certain people out there that are just going to not like what's going on with this watch, and I understand that. But for me, something about the colorways, the way they did this one called out to me. Now, I wanted to mention also, Squale only makes the GMT, the 30 Atmos GMTs, about every 6 months. They'll make a batch of them in different colorways, but they're limited in that they only do them every 6 months. So I find that at a lot of places, the GMTs in these Squales are sold out fairly quickly. So if you do want to pick one up and you see one that you like, I'd suggest getting it, or it may be half a year before you can get around to picking one up again. So let's dim the lights and look at the Lume on this one. Well, now I don't have complete darkness in here, but I think you guys will get the idea on this watch. Like I said, the Lume is really good on this one. It does not last all night long, but you'll notice that the indices, those orange indices on the watch are really kind of different. They just don't glow quite as much. Now, of course, here in the studio, they look like they're glowing really bright, but you can see they'll start to fade out. You can see they're already getting more faded than the rest of those. And actually, to be honest with you, the hands don't seem like the Lume lasts as long as it does on the bezel insert and the main indices itself. So a little bit lagging in the Lume department, even though I'm sitting here with this torch in my hand. It's very much glowing. I think we all just get way too used to Seiko Lume, and we're spoiled by that. But anyways, guys, the 1545 GWC, the GMT Walnut Ceramica, I don't know. I love this one. Guys, let me know what you think of this watch down below in the comments. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up down there at the bottom. And if you've not subscribed to the OFD channel yet, please do. Please do. Thanks, guys.